Hello, everyone, and welcome to Monday Meditation, The Joy of Sitting. This hour is dedicated to meditation practice and also mindfulness practice. And as some of you know, this evening, our Monday evenings, are recorded through my Zoom recording and also presented here on Instagram. And so let's see, I'm just really dialing everything in so that the recording goes according the way it needs to, and that in the Instagram space, it's seamless and wonderful for everyone. I'm just taking a moment to talk a little bit about my free offerings. These offerings are given as a gift to you and to others that are curious or interested about meditation and mindfulness practice and the joy and beauty that they provide you in your everyday life. So on Monday through Friday mornings at 8 a.m. Pacific time, there is a relatively short meditation practice. I call it the Magnificent Morning Meditation. It takes all of about maybe 6, 7, maybe 8 minutes, beginning at 8 a.m. and all of that. And so if you have a moment between this and that, maybe you're sipping on a cup of coffee and you want to just chill a little bit, check out this meeting here on Instagram Live is where that meeting takes place. On Monday and Tuesday evenings, Monday night tonight, is our Monday meditation, The Joy of Sitting hour, which is from 6 to 7 p.m. Pacific time. Tuesday night, also in that same hour from 6 to 7 p.m. Pacific time, is our Art of Connection meeting. And this meeting on Tuesday night focuses on contemplation and meditation, just so you get a smattering of what all these things are like, what they're about. It's kind of like sticking your toe in the water and seeing how it feels before diving fully into it. Now, some of you may be more advanced, and in your life, you may have a regular meditation practice and other practices that you're accustomed to that are really working well for you. And so these meetings, while they're relatively short, may be enriching, much like an appetizer before dinner or a dessert on the end of the meal, but a way that you can gather with others and experience moments of beauty and wonder in the inner planes. So let's go ahead and I'll talk a little bit about the plan for this evening so that you can have a sense of where we're going and what we're doing. Every week, I have a specific theme. The theme for this week, especially because Christmas is coming soon, is the gift. What is the gift? What is the gift in your life? Now, for those people that enjoy meditation, those moments of really taking time for inner experience like that is a profound gift because it sets the stage for your entire day. And so little by little, as you look at these matters, as maybe you dabble in them a little bit, notice where the gift is. And notice that, especially with meditation, who can give you the gift? Well, in the end, you're the one that gives yourself the gift. And in your life overall, no matter what the circumstances may be, you may be the gift to others, even through difficult moments that you may be going through. So then, just as that sets the stage for tonight, we start off by taking a look at mindfulness practice. And so then, moment to moment, especially with this theme of the gift, you notice what's the gift of the moment. And some places in our mind, some places in our programming, we think that life should be entirely pleasurable. And so with the idea that everything should be pleasurable and you should never be uncomfortable, then it puts us at odds with our life and our life experience. Now, I'm just going to wave back to one person. Wonderful to see you here. And I'm waving back to Lucy Wenjin underscore Dong. Lucy, wonderful to see you here tonight. In these meetings, I don't share the video, but if you ever would like to share video with me and have a chat, please let me know. I'd love to spend some time and talk a little bit with you. However, maybe we could do that if you could go to my, send me a message and we'll schedule something. For tonight, though, as we look at the gift of the moment, sometimes the gift of the moment is discomfort. And the reason for that is because there are many parts of life that are uncomfortable. And as we make peace with our life and our not just living conditions, but all of the a sundry of different human experiences, little by little, we find peace. And it's not from shutting down, it's not weeding the garden, meaning you never have an uncomfortable moment, but you start to see that the pattern, if we had a loom and we were weaving a garment, there's going to be over and under and all of that. There's going to be warp and weft and the shuttle going back and forth and the heddle going this way and that way so that the yarn creates, and especially colors of yarn, creates a pattern. And the pattern of life has pleasant moments and unpleasant moments. And if you can participate in the weaving, the fabric of your life by seeing the beauty of all of life and how the lights and shadows play off of one another and create this incredible beauty that we experience as pleasant and unpleasant emotions, pleasant and unpleasant feelings, experiences. And if we can find the peace that passes understanding in each of those moments, then we live in peace. Similarly, in terms of the gift of meditation, this gift of peace with life comes as a result of making peace with life overall. So that's the opening talk for this evening in terms of mindfulness of the gift and really taking a look at who gives that gift. Part of the gift also, just one other piece of that, is this. Each of us, as part of this lifetime, not only has the gift of pleasant and unpleasant sensations, feelings, but we also have free will. And free will is an incredible gift. Sometimes I hear people say, what kind of a loving God would this or that? But the thing that projection does not include is the free will that we have. And we choose certain things, whether that's good, bad, or indifferent, whether they're pleasant or unpleasant, we have free will. And also there are just incredible circumstances in the human lifetime that aren't necessarily personal, but impact us in a very personal level. And then what do we do with that? Can we see the gift in it? Or is it a curse? Is it a curse or a blessing? And yet, if we look at the discomforts of life and we use those for our growth, then those uncomfortable moments become a blessing because it gives us the opportunity to deepen in our understanding of a human lifetime. So let's go ahead, though. We're going to do our opening meditation. I'm going to wave back to one more person, waving back to Borgie underscore charity underscore foundation. Great to see you this evening. And just a little understanding regarding charities and all of that, that this space is not for charity, meaning this isn't a space, and there are so few people, it's not a space to promote contribution to charities. And I appreciate what you're doing in the Gambia and all of that. And I wish you the very best in all you do. I know it matters a lot to your people. This just isn't the space, and especially the numbers of people are so few that it's just not the space for charity. But I welcome you in this space, and I hope that everyone that's here enjoys these meditations and conversations. And there's room in the comment area, much like you're seeing, for making comments. And I'm so happy to see you here this evening. So let's go ahead and we'll do our opening meditation. And this meditation involves looking at the space that your thoughts and emotions arise within. So just like all meditation, just very gently repositioning your body on the surface that your body's resting upon. And very gently allowing your eyelids to drift downward until they do close. And taking a slow and gentle deep breath in, and gently releasing this breath and allowing your breath to find its own natural rhythm once again, free of control. Bringing the very center of the focus of your attention to the experience of breathing. And this type of breathing is a type of deep breathing without hyperventilating. Watching the way that your shoulders, chest, and belly wall expand on your inhalations and release on your exhalations. If you get distracted, that just becomes part of this meditation. It's okay for distraction to be here. Just simply come back to experiencing the way that your shoulders, chest, and belly wall expand on your inhalations and release on your exhalations. And also noticing some of the qualities of your breath, like the way that your in-breaths may feel more cool, temperature-wise, more cool, and also more dry. And on your exhalations, you might experience them as being warmer and more moist. Continuing to notice the way that your shoulders, chest, and belly wall expand on your inhalations and release on your exhalations. And also beginning to notice the beating of your heart and your pulse that travels throughout your being. Noticing how much sense information your awareness provides. With noticing the way that your shoulders, chest, and belly wall expand on your inhalations, release on your exhalations, the beating of your heart and your pulse, and also beginning to notice the space that your thoughts and emotions arise within. Notice the tendency to grab a thought, to grab an emotion. And even as you may grip a thought or emotion, notice the space all around the thought, the emotion, the grabbing, the releasing. Notice the space. And even as some thoughts come and go, and some thoughts come and stay, as some thoughts linger, and as some thoughts coalesce into fantasies like dreamlike images, and notice when you've gone there. And just very gently notice the space around your thoughts, around your emotions, around these images, as you continue to notice the way that your shoulders, chest, and belly wall expand on your inhalations and release on your exhalations. the beating of your heart and your pulse, the space that your thoughts and emotions arise within. And in this space where your thoughts and emotions arise, beginning to notice this gentle calm, that it isn't just still, it isn't just vacuum, but there's actually this sense of calm all around in this space where your thoughts and emotions arise. Continuing to notice the way that your shoulders, chest, and belly wall expand on your inhalations and release on your exhalations, and the beating of your heart and your pulse, and the space that your thoughts and emotions arise within, and this calm awareness that's always here. No matter what's going on, even when we're grabbing thoughts, we're grabbing emotions, and we might not notice it. But even though sometimes we don't prefer to notice it, isn't it true that it's always here? And softening that much more deeply into your calm, while continuing to notice the way that your shoulders, chest, and belly wall expand on your inhalations and release on your exhalations, the beating of your heart and your pulse, and the space that your thoughts and emotions arise within, and this calm that's always right here. Softening that much more deeply into the calm, and allowing this sense of calm, this experience of calm, to saturate your being as you soften into it. And notice the ease that this calm gives you in continuing to be aware of the way that your body movement accommodates your breath and breathing, the beating of your heart and your pulse, the space that your thoughts and emotions arise within, and this calm that's so friendly, so open, allows all of that. And at the same time, it's so incredible. This beautiful calm that's always right here. Softening that much more deeply into your calm. And taking just another moment to unhook and float and drift within your calm. And taking another slow and gentle deep breath in, and gently releasing this breath and allowing your breath to find its own natural rhythm once again, free of control. Slowly beginning to move your fingers and your toes, gently stretching your hands and your feet, gently moving your wrists and your ankles, gently shrugging your shoulders and stretching your back and your neck and your arms and your legs. And when you're ready, slowly let your eyes come back open and notice if the room and space around you seems a little different than before. And if you feel a little different than you felt before, if there is a difference and you're curious about this difference or really enjoying it, please soften into it and recognize that this is a gift that you've given to yourself. Waving back to Rebazar Gallery. Thank you for being here. Waving back. So it's so wonderful to see you all here this evening. And if you have specific comments, concerns, needs regarding meditation and mindfulness practice, questions about them, please write in the comment area, and I would be happy to include them in tonight's meeting. So let's see. That was our spaciousness meditation. And these meditations in this meeting are deliberately relatively short. roughly about 7 minutes each. And part of the beauty of that is that you can see that even a relatively short meditation doesn't have to be hours and hours, and you don't have to be off in the woods somewhere. Right here on this Instagram live space, you have this experience. What a beautiful thing. And it didn't cost anything except the time and having the phone and all of that stuff. Now that part costs you something, but the meeting itself didn't cost you anything. And it gives you a way to practice, a way to experience and whet your palate of different types of meditations and experiences. So let's see. Let's talk a little about stress and body-centered mindfulness practice. And then we're going to do some of that with the heart-centering meditation in just a few minutes. So first of all, one of the beauties of the body-centered mindfulness practice is that you begin to see the way that your body, let's see, your thoughts, your mind, your emotions, your physical body, you begin to see how you become impacted by a variety of different experiences, whether you're on the phone, whether you're in front of the television screen, whatever the circumstances may be in your life, you start to notice the way that you feel impacted, what the feeling is. And did anyone really make you feel that way? Or is what you're experiencing is the way that you feel? And little by little, what can begin to happen is that you recognize that you feel everything. And there's a kind of awakening that comes with that. They call that the awakening of the heart. Now, I'm going to wave back to someone else that just came into this space. _ Antonio _ Real. Thank you. Wonderful to be with you tonight. I'm glad you decided to be here. So once again, if anyone has specific needs regarding meditation, mindfulness practice, or any themes that we speak about in the meeting, please write in the comment area and I would be happy to include them. So for some of you that want to be part of the video, what you can do is you can go to my website, which is Art of Connection Now is one word, artofconnectionnow.com. And if you go to Monday meditation, what you're going to be invited into is to, there'll be how it is with most things. You not subscribe because there's no charge, but what you do is you put your name in there and stuff like that, and you make certain agreements that you won't do this and you won't do that. And then I'll get the message, and then what you end up getting for the Monday night meeting is a Zoom link. And then you can be part of the recording in the Zoom space. And that's where I allow you to be a part of the recording if that's what you desire. And so, Lucy, I hope that that's something that you might enjoy. I'd love to have you in that space, and others too. I started doing these meetings like this when COVID first came in about 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago now. And again, it's about public service, really attempting to give value to people and I enjoy doing this. This is not something I do to make a living. This is something that's part of my sharing my joy, my living experience. And so there's value all the way around. And I would do this, meeting if there are very few or a lot. So I don't, there's no strings attached. And so I welcome all of you into this space, and I'm really happy to see you tonight. Now, as we take a look at body-centered mindfulness practice, and we're going to do this in a moment, I'm just giving you a little bit of background about the body-centered mindfulness practice. So in the way that I learned it, it was when I was studying with my Buddhist teacher a lot of years ago. And I was first instructed that this particular body-centered mindfulness practice went back to the time of the Buddha. And it may be that the historical Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama, may have actually developed this. I don't know. I don't know the particulars, and I'm not trying to convert anyone to anything. This is, experientially based. And if you're enjoying this, I assume you'll be here. And if for some reason it's turning you off, I assume that you'll vote with your feet. And I could get great joy out of sharing this with whoever's here. And I appreciate all of you. And so if there's ever any content that you don't prefer, or if you prefer something else, if you would write in the comment area, I enjoy feedback. And also, if any of you would like some one-to-one time, please let me know and we'll schedule some one-to-one time. Now, depending on the nature of the one-to-one time, I do charge if it becomes a mentoring or coaching session, but we'll discuss all of that. So it isn't all about money. There are many forms of value, and I value your time, and I appreciate you here. So body-centered mindfulness practice, we scan our body and we look for our pain, tension, and discomforts, whether they're physical, mental, emotional, and or spiritual, or any combinations thereof, no matter how large or how small. And sometimes we do grab our thoughts, we do grab our emotions. Now, as you do this scanning, body-centered mindfulness practice, little by little, you begin to see the nature of stress. And it isn't just that things are stressing you out, there's our part of it that we grip around it. And when we grip around it, it doesn't make it go away more quickly. What it does is it kind of chooses that pain, because it's a familiar pain, to live with for a while. And so there's a way to, when you really want to process it through, this is a tremendous choice. One time I was in a bank, it seemed to be taking forever. And I started to do this mindfulness practice, this body-centered mindfulness practice. And the time just, it's just moments and I was out of the bank, or at least so it seemed. And it certainly gave me something else to focus on rather than my impatience. So let's see. And then following that, piggybacked on that, is the heart centering meditation, which is incredible. I deliberately piggybacked them in order to give you a deeper experience by first helping you to release stress. And then from that release, to dive into the heart centering meditation. And I hope you enjoyed this. So let's go ahead and do that rather than just continue to talk about it and see where we go. So once again, gently repositioning your body on the surface that your body's resting. And when you're ready, gently allowing your eyelids to drift downward until they do close. And taking a slow and gentle deep breath in, and gently releasing this breath and allowing your breath to find its own natural rhythm once again, free of control. Softening your belly wall and your shoulders. And beginning to scan to feel on the inside of your body, from the tips of your toes to the top of your head, looking for those locations and content where your stress, tension, pain, and discomforts reside, whether they're physical, mental, emotional, and or spiritual, or any combinations thereof, no matter how large or how small. Whether they're caused by the impact of rapid growth with its joys and challenges, or anxieties, worries, concerns, trepidation, resentments, but loneliness, whatever it is for you. whatever it is for you. No judgment. And sometimes we do grab our thoughts, we do grab our emotions. And this time, allowing your love to work for you and through you by giving these locations and content a very warm, tender, nurturing, caring, loving, inclusive, and connecting embrace. And tightening your embrace just a little bit more in order to give these locations and content a very open hearted, full hearted, warm, tender, nurturing, caring, loving, inclusive, and connecting embrace. And softening your embrace and releasing. Gently bringing the very center of the focus of your attention to this feeling of release. And allowing this feeling of release to flow throughout your entire being. And allowing all of your senses to register this experience of release. And softening into this experience of release. Scanning once again from the tips of your toes to the top of your head, looking for your stress, tension, pain, and discomforts of any kind. Looking for the locations and content where your stress, tension, pain, and discomforts reside, whether they're physical, mental, emotional, and or spiritual, or any combinations thereof, no matter how large or how small. And this time, giving them the gentlest of warm, tender, nurturing, caring, loving, inclusive, and connecting embrace. The gentlest embrace. And softening and releasing. Gently bringing the very center of the focus of your attention to this feeling of release. And softening into this experience of release. Scanning one more time from the tips of your toes to the top of your head, looking for the locations and content of your stress, tension, pain, and discomfort of any kind, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, and or spiritual, or any combinations thereof, no matter how large or how small. And this time, giving these locations and content the softest touch, whisper soft, barely touching the fringes of these locations and content with a warm, tender, nurturing, caring, loving, inclusive, and connecting contact. Barely touching. And softening and releasing. Gently bringing the very center of the focus of your attention to this feeling of release. And allowing this feeling of release to flow throughout your entire being. And allowing all of your senses to register this experience of release. And softening into this experience of release. And very gently bringing the very center of the focus of your attention to the dull ache in your heart, the doorway in. And you know this dull ache that you've experienced many times with losses throughout your life, great or small. And yet this dull ache is always here. The doorway into your heart is always here. And it lets us know that it's here through this dull ache. And very gently leaning backward into this dull ache and leaning back more and more and more until you somewhat plop inside your own heart. And allowing all of your senses to recognize the place within your heart that your love always arises from. Whether your love is for a person, a place, a thing, a two-legged, a four-legged, a no-legged, whether your love is for someone on this plane of existence or any other. Even if your love is for life itself, the joy that life gives you. And allowing your love to flow through you and around you. And allowing all of your senses to register this pure love that lives within you. And softening into your pure love and allowing your pure love to saturate your being. Perhaps beginning to notice some of the essences of love, like instruments in a great symphony, the essence of caring and kindness and compassion, and also this incredible vibration of connection with this desire to connect, and remembering experiences of connecting with a person, a place, a thing, a two-legged, a four-legged, a no-legged, whether your connection was fruitful and enjoyable, or even when it just wasn't possible to connect. And that yearning, that feeling of wanting something that wasn't possible this time. And allowing your vibration of connection to flow through you and around you. And allowing all of your senses to register this pure connection that lives within you. And allowing your pure connection to saturate your being and lingering in this sense of fulfillment in this space of pure connection. And taking another slow and gentle deep breath in and gently releasing this breath and allowing your breath to find its own natural rhythm once again, free of control. Slowly beginning to move your fingers and your toes, gently stretching your hands and your feet, slowly moving your wrists and your ankles, gently shrugging your shoulders and stretching your back and your neck and your arms and your legs. And when you're ready, slowly let your eyes come back open and notice if the room and space around you seems a little different than before. And if you feel different than you did. If there is a difference and you're enjoying this difference or curious about it, please soften into it and recognize that this is a gift that you've given to yourself. And waving back to mindful underscore meows underscore thank you for being here tonight. Wonderful to see you all. It's just such a joy. And let's see. And if you have any comments or concerns, please write them in the comment area. And let's talk a little bit about uncomfortable emotions. So, as we talked about a little earlier tonight, we have comfortable and uncomfortable emotions, feelings that, it's different than if you grab a cup of coffee and don't realize how piping hot it is, and you get it to your lips for a moment and you pull away. That's physical, isn't it? And yet sometimes you might be in a friendly mode, and you come up with someone and you say hello, and they say, "What's good about it?" So then what do you do then? So this next meditation that we're about to do is the last meditation of the evening. This is there's a little bit more talk later, but not much. And we're about 2/3 through our meeting tonight, and it's just such a joy. This particular meditation is a way of transforming unpleasant emotions into compassion. And if you haven't experienced this before and you're curious about how you can cultivate compassion, this is an incredible way. And unpleasant experiences, whether they're unpleasant mentally, unpleasant emotionally, maybe you did something in your computer and things just didn't go, it was frustrating or irritating. Whatever it is for you, you just pick one. Now, the suggestion here is to always pick the most unpleasant. The reason for that is this. If you pick the most unpleasant and you're able to actually work through something, then you know that this helped and you weren't making it up. However, if you pick something minor, it was kind of, who knows if something happened or didn't happen. Maybe Mark is full of it, whatever that is. But if you pick the worst one and take the risk, then you have the opportunity to reap the greatest reward. So this particular meditation, it's known to go back more than 1,000 years. And so these teachings regarding the cultivation of loving kindness, it wasn't that they weren't available. It was that they were put together in this one package about 1,000 years ago. And this dynamic program, practice, is incredible. The daily practice of loving kindness is incredible. And so I like to weave some of that into these meetings just so that you can get a taste of it. It doesn't cost anything. It's a freebie. It's here if you show up. And I'm so grateful that you're here because it makes it that much more rewarding for all of us. So as you pick the most unpleasant emotion of your day or week or month or year, whatever it may be for you. Maybe it was a relational thing, maybe it was a financial thing, maybe it was a political thing, whatever it was for you, a financial thing, whatever it was, you pick one. Maybe someone that you loved departed this plane of existence, whatever it was for you, just pick one. And then, as before, just take a moment to reposition your body on the surface that your body's resting, and very gently allowing your eyelids to drift downward until they do close. And because when we have unpleasant emotions, we're breathing them in and breathing them out, we start by breathing into every pore and cell of your being your most unpleasant emotion. Breathing your most unpleasant emotion on the next in-breath into every pore and cell of your being as a gift of generosity and spaciousness for yourself and your human experience. And breathing out love, kindness, compassion, caring, and connection through every cell and pore of your being as a gift of generosity and spaciousness for yourself and your human experience. Breathing in your most unpleasant emotion into every pore and cell of your being as a gift of generosity and spaciousness for yourself and your human experience. Breathing out love, kindness, compassion, caring, and connection through every cell and pore of your being as a gift of generosity and spaciousness for yourself and your human experience. Breathing in your most unpleasant emotion into every pore and cell of your being as a gift of generosity and spaciousness for yourself and your human experience. Breathing out love, kindness, compassion, caring, and connection through every cell and pore of your being as a gift of generosity and spaciousness for yourself and your human experience. Continuing to breathe, leaving your eyelids closed, and considering that if we had some magical device capable of measuring all of the qualities and distinctions of human emotion, of everyone on this plane of existence in this moment, even though their circumstances may be radically different than yours, how many of them, in terms of raw emotion, all of the qualities and distinctions of human emotion, pleasant and unpleasant, all of it, how many of them would register so close to your measurement, especially with the unpleasant emotions, as to be indistinguishable? Again, even if their circumstances are very different. One other person, just like you, 10 other people, maybe hundreds or thousands or millions of people feeling just like you and just like me. And on the next in-breath, breathing in your most unpleasant emotion into every pore and cell of your being as a gift of generosity and spaciousness for all of them and yourself and this human experience. Breathing out love, kindness, compassion, caring, and connection through every cell and pore of your being as a gift of generosity and spaciousness for all of them and yourself and this human experience. Breathing in your most unpleasant emotion into every pore and cell of your being as a gift of generosity and spaciousness for all of them and yourself and this human experience. Breathing out love, kindness, compassion, caring, and connection through every cell and pore of your being as a gift of generosity and spaciousness for all of them and yourself and this human experience. Breathing in your most unpleasant emotion into every pore and cell of your being as a gift of generosity and spaciousness for all of them and yourself and this human experience. Breathing out love, kindness, compassion, caring, and connection through every cell and pore of your being as a gift of generosity and spaciousness for all of them and yourself and this human experience. Continuing to breathe, leaving your eyelids closed and evaluating. Do you feel any more compassion for yourself and your human experience than you did before? Do you feel any more compassion for others that just like you had this human experience? When you're ready, slowly let your eyes come back open. Notice if the room seems a little different than before, and if you feel a little different than you did. If there is a difference, if you're enjoying this difference or curious about it, please soften into it and recognize that this is a gift that you've given to yourself. Just be honest with yourself. That's the main point. I hope that was wonderful for you and that this meeting has fulfilled what you hope to gain. Waving back again to Lucy _Wenjin_Dong. Thank you for being here. Great to see you again. And Orgy_Charity_Foundation. Great to see you again. And also Rabazar Gallery. Thank you for being here tonight. And _Antonio_L'Oreal. Thank you for being here. And Mindful_Meows_. Thank you for being here. So now we're about to wind all of us our meeting down. And in doing that, we're going to do that by using an ancient prayer, an adaptation of the Beauty Way prayer from the Native American Church. So this particular prayer, if we think about beauty, first of all, in the Native American Church, the directions are sacred, and we'll go into that a little bit right now. So when you see where the sun rises and sets, for the most part, that shows you where the east is, because the sun always rises in the east, except how it's perceived at the north and south poles, and sets in the west. So that gives you those directions. And because it gives you east and west, then it's easy to see where north and south are. And the teaching is that when you know the directions, you know where you stand. If we internalize that teaching a little bit, what we look at is what direction are we going in our life? Forward or back, or left and right. You know, we describe that in our life, how we feel that we're making progress or losing progress. Where are we? So when we see the directions in our life, we know where we stand in our life. And it's difficult always to make progress. But when we see the direction we want to go, then sometimes we have to ask for help in order to achieve those goals. And it's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength to ask for help, because in the end, don't you want to achieve your goals? So then when we look at the word beauty, we're not just talking about human beauty. And I like to use the Milky Way because the Milky Way is so amazingly large that it transcends our understanding. And it's also, in terms of longevity, its lifetime of all of this is so massive that, again, it transcends our understanding. And yet that isn't to diminish you or me. That's to help us to recognize that we're a part of something that's incredible, just incredibly beyond our understanding. Beautiful. So in this prayer, when I say before us, behind us, see if you can expand your mind. If you're using the Milky Way as a metaphor, or you might have your own version of beauty, whatever that is for you. Now I'm going to take just a moment in the Zoom space to change the virtual background to the Milky Way, just for the purpose of my recording. There we go. And I'm waving back to David.design_12. Thank you for being here tonight. Okay, here we go with our closing prayer. Beauty that is in front of us, and beauty that is behind us, and beauty that is to the left of us, and beauty that is to the right of us. And beauty that is underneath us, and beauty that is above us, and beauty that is all around us. And it is extremely important, essential, to recognize the beauty that is within us. Dear friends, there's a word spoken in the language that the Navajo people speak. It's called Ojanahaslain, which means walk in beauty. And so I'm going to say that word 3 times just as a way of honoring the sacred. Ojanahaslain, Ojanahaslain, Ojanahaslain. Dear friends, walk in beauty, and please always remember that you bring the beauty with you wherever you go. Walk in beauty. And Lucy Wamjin_Dong said, thanks, enjoyed being here and connecting. Wonderful to see you, Lucy. Wonderful to see you all and walk in beauty. Namaste, the show, many blessings, and walk in beauty. Please always remember that you bring the beauty with you wherever you go. Walk in beauty.